He started the day with a one-shot lead, and thanks to this bunker shot on the par 5 18th, DJ, his third out of the sand, setting up a great birdie try after making a mess of the 17th hole. DJ finishes out his third round with a birdie. He has a share of the 54-hole lead at the Tour Championship. We're going to have all that and more straight ahead on Golf Central.
Golf Central. Brought to you by Titleist.
Hey folks, thanks for joining us tonight on Golf Central. I'm George Savarickas, lucky enough to be alongside Golf Channel analyst Randall Chambly and Paul McGinley. Guys, let's get right to the third round highlights that we saw at the Tour Championship in Atlanta. We were wondering if Dustin Johnson was going to be able to run away and hide, but there's some other guys in the field making a move. Here's Ryan Moore on the first.
Well, as Paul McGinley reminded us before the players teed off today, there are so many subplots amongst them, the Ryder Cup, and certainly squarely in that is Ryan Moore. Maybe Ryder Moore is an ode of things to come. Birdie at the first for him.
Then Moore after birdieing the second on the fifth.
38 feet there for Ryan, and certainly continuing the good form he's shown in recent weeks. But another good performance here at the Tour Championship. Is he going to be the pick?
He would card a 66. Dustin Johnson, 36-hole leader, in position to win the 2016 FedEx Cup, playing the par 4 fourth.
Opened with pars at 1, 2, 3. Another gorgeous drive at the fourth, 312 yards. Gave him a nice angle. Just a short iron in his hand. And as we've seen him do so often this year, he converts a short iron shot into a birdie.
Kevin Chappell having to go toe-to-toe with Dustin Johnson in that final group, also on the fourth.
Kevin Chappell, 3 second places this year already. And he's right up there, top of the leaderboard. Nice bunker shot there. Make par.
Let's take another look at Chappell out of the bunker.
It's so important to maintain the knee flex and then to release so that you can use that bounce.
Dustin Johnson buying another birdie on the fifth.
Much improved in this regard. Changed putters a couple of weeks ago, and it certainly rejuvenated his work on the greens.
You had heard some positivity out of Rory after second round. Paul looked good on Saturday.
Yeah, he gave a really good interview last night, and you could tell he was kind of confident, and he went out and showed it today the way he played. 17 greens out of 18 today. That's an example of the quality golf Rory played today.
That on the 8th, he would make a birdie, looking to make a move. More from McIlroy on 13.
17 out of 18 greens, sure. But was he hitting it close? I mean, anywhere on the greens, not as good as, well, a foot away. Yes, that man right there leads this very talented field in total driving and ball striking.
Got Rory to 4 under. Here's Chappell, a little short game magic on 12.
Yeah, look at all the weight in the left side there. Very important coming out of that heavy rough, creating an angle of attack. And that was one against the head there, chipping in from that heavy rough. Much needed for Chappell at that stage in a round.
And DJ for birdie.
You love to see somebody's putting stroke emulate the rhythm of their golf swing, and that is certainly true with Dustin Johnson. It is long and smooth.
DJ a little loose on 13 off the tee.
Yeah, we've seen him pounded 340, 350 all week long, right down the middle of the fairway, but this one wasn't to be. Right up against the tree for him there.
So the first blemish as he makes bogey on that hole drops him back to 9 under par. He had a 2-shot lead. Now from the rough on the par 4 14th.
And this Bermuda rough, the ball goes right to the bottom. So it's not some of the thickest rough that these players will face, but the ball does sink right to the bottom. So it plays much deeper than it is and results in another bogey.
McIlroy, 16th.
Yeah, he said this is one of his best shots of the day, able to judge the ball out of this rough. We've heard the players talk a lot about how difficult it is to control the distance. No bother for Rory there.
As he puts the finishing touches on another birdie, McIlroy with his 66, getting him to 6 under par with 18 holes still to go. Johnson, after birdie at 15 to stem the tide a little, the 17th, this is one I like back.
Well, Dustin Johnson is very comfortable working the ball left to right. This is one of the few holes on the back nine that works right to left. Trying to hit a 3-wood, It's easier to work a 3-wood right to left, but this one hangs out to the right, gets nestled up as we take a slow motion look. Love the way you can see his right leg kicking off of the ground, driving into the golf ball. It's a very powerful move. That is a move that is common to so many of the best, but tangled up in the rough and trying to get it out.
Yeah, he caught the 3 in the way out there. Found the rough on the left-hand side.
That was not good.
That was not good, Dustin. That was going to lead to a double bogey there.
Big momentum swing. Chappell in the fairway.
And his irons have just been extraordinary. He does lead the field in greens and regulation. Strokes gained coming into the green and proximity to the hole. You put all that together and you're left with a lot of short-looking putts.
So he's at 8 under par now. Dustin Johnson actually a shot back, playing his 3rd to the closing hole.
Yeah, he hit a huge drive, 350 yards down, actually ran out of fairway into the rough, didn't get the flyer into the bunker, made up for it with an excellent bunker shot and a good chance for a birdie, which he made.
So let's take a look at the leaderboard with 54 holes in the books. Dustin Johnson, Kevin Chappell, both at 8 under par. Then you see Ryan Moore, Rory McIlroy, and we haven't even mentioned Hideki Matsuyama. He's just 3 off the chase, so the leader kind of came back to the field on that final 9 to open things up. Here's Dustin Johnson after getting in with that 1 under par 69. He spoke with Todd Lewis.
Thank you very much, Dustin Johnson. A familiar position heading into the final day for the share of the lead. You were able to birdie the last hole. Do you think you recaptured some of that momentum that may have been lost on that back 9?
Yeah, I mean, you know, I still felt like I played good today. It was just a couple bad tee balls. I mean, it's, you know, you hit it in the rough here, it's very difficult. You know, on 14, you know, I hit a really good drive down 14 and just, you know, it kind of bounced right, just got in the rough. You know, and, you know, terrible lie, you know, it's impossible. And then kind of the same thing on 16, you know, or 17, you know, I made double. You know, I hit it, you just missed the fairway to the right, and then, you know, hit a, you know, it's just easy to make mistakes out here if you miss the fairway.
A lot of opportunity for you tomorrow, be it mentally, mechanically, or strategically. What is the biggest key for you in that final round?
Just probably mentally, just stay focused, you know, all day. You know, I feel like I'm swinging really well, so if I keep playing like I am, I'm going to be tough tomorrow.
Dustin Johnson's put himself in this spot a few times before in his career on the PGA Tour. Here he is converting the outright lead. You see 2 for 4, but he is a co-leader, so he's just 1 for 3 so far on the PGA Tour. So DJ, if you look at his scorecard, it was kind of scattershot. 6 birdies, and then he has 3 bogeys and a double. Are you more concerned by the loose tee shots, or do you take more of the positives of what we saw?
Well, both. You know, these are the type of scorecards you're going to see if you stray from the fairway at Eastlake. One of the things about Eastlake that is so wonderful to see is it's almost a U.S. Open or an old-style U.S. Open type of golf course where if you drift from the fairway, Paul, you're going to pay a price for that. You start to look at this leaderboard, and it's chock full of some great ball strikers, guys that can find the fairway. As good as Dustin Johnson has been this year, he hasn't been the best on the weekends. His scoring average on Saturday is 57th on the PGA Tour. His scoring average on Sunday is 18th on the PGA Tour. Conversely, he's 1st and 2nd on Thursday, Friday. So he's going to have to find more fairways on the back 9.
Yeah, the challenge for the guys tomorrow chasing is to stay with him. If you stay close to Dustin, you know, put a bit of pressure on him, you can maybe beat him in head-to-head, but he has that ability to go to another level and pull away from the field, and that's what they've got to be careful of. There's another interesting subplot going on there. Justin Thomas is having a good week. We all know he's there maybe for a potential pick. Ryan Moore been so impressive the last 6 weeks, a win, 2 top 10s before tomorrow. He's going to obviously have another good finish here. And then, of course, Chappell up there. So there's a number of things going on, and let's not forget Rory. Hopefully we're going to get that head-to-head, that shootout, that slugfest between Rory and Dustin tomorrow. That would be thrilling.
Brandel, we saw last year with Jason Day when he started closing out tournaments, he looked nearly unbeatable once he kind of had blood in the water. With Dustin Johnson this year, he closes out Oakmont and then Bridgestone and BMW. Is he getting to that point now where you think that he embraces the role of having the target on his back?
I think so. I mean, he's obviously good enough to keep putting himself in a position to gain the experience and to be more comfortable with the lead. But given the fact that he can hit it so much further, so much straighter, and about the best there is out there with a wedge in his hand, he is a very formidable opponent. It is not very often that you see someone sustain that type of form for more than a couple of months. for more than a year. So looking forward, now Dustin Johnson's won every single year since he's been out on tour. I'm thoroughly convinced he's going right into the Hall of Fame. But does he get there with 4, 5, 6 majors and 30, 40 wins? He certainly has the talent to do that.
How big a change is that, Paul?
Yeah, I mean, there's no doubt. I mean, Brandel's absolutely right. You know, we've seen him elevate himself since he won that U.S. Open champion. As great as these players are, they need validation. You get validation from results. You get validation from winning. And certainly that win for U.S. Open, particularly in the circumstances that Dustin did it, was huge for him psychologically. And we've seen a different Dustin Johnson since.
And Kevin Chappell's a guy who's had 3 run-round finishes. He's tied for the lead, and he would love to have the validation to finally break through on the PGA Tour. He's just one of a number of guys who are trying to chase down DJ going into the final round.
I'm at ease here. You know, I really think East Lake's it's an enjoyable walk, despite the elevation changes and stuff. But I think it's beautiful. People have been great, and you know, I'm just in a good frame of mind and really enjoying my time around here.
What are you most looking forward to tomorrow?
Waking up, the Bruins have won.
Playing Stanford tonight.
And you know, just getting to test kind of the situations I've been in all year and see if I can pull from those opportunities I've had in close calls and use it and get on the right side of something.
This week it's all about, you know, limiting your mistakes, and I didn't do that the first 2 days, but I did that today. I didn't have a bogey, and you know, you don't need to make many birdies here to feel like you're working your way through the field. So 4 birdies, no bogeys, that's gonna work around here, and you know, it gets me closer to what I need to do. I need to go out and play a very similar, or if not better, round of golf tomorrow to have a chance. And I think first and foremost, I just need to try and win this golf tournament, and whatever happens after that happens. But you know, it'd just be great to try and win the Tour Championship. And if the chips fall my way, then so be it.
This could be a pretty good omen if you're Rory McIlroy. Most wins when trailing through 54 holes since the beginning of 2010. The leader on the PGA Tour. The leaders with 6, McIlroy with 5 to his credit. Remember, he trailed by 6 at the Deutsche Bank just a few weeks ago. So, Paul, what was it in his comments yesterday where you thought, all right, the needle's starting to point back in the right direction?
I think it goes back to that word validation again. He talked yesterday about struggling with his game and starting out really poorly. I think he played the first 9 holes, 5 over par the first 2 days. Yesterday particularly, he played it very poorly in the front 9. Then he turned it around. Then he got control of his golf swing, he played really well on the back 9, and you could see he was buoyed coming off. He was ready to go another 18, and he's followed it through today. We said last night he needed to shoot something in the mid-60s if he's going to get in the rear view mirror of Dustin. He's done just that. He's in a good position, and look out tomorrow.
Yeah, you see a little difference in him, a little softness to him emotionally. I think he's in psychologically a little better spot than he was a couple of weeks ago. To the extent that he's only got one thing really that's pressing. As I just said a little while ago, he's leading this field in total driving and ball striking. His long game is there, and he's got a very clear concept, it seems to me, of what he wants to do on the greens. He's had a little bit of success with it. He's fallen back, is a little bit off that form. He's in the middle of the pack. He had 32 putts today, 32, and still shot 4 under par. So he doesn't need a lot of help, just a little bit of help, and he looks a lot more patient on the greens and a lot more likely to get that help.
Tiger Woods had that intimidation where no matter where he was on a course in the final round, that if you saw his name start creeping up a leaderboard, it would have an impact on the guys in the final group. What does Rory have to do tomorrow to really start getting the attention from Dustin and Kevin to say, okay, there's a 4-time major champion trying to chase us down?
He needs to get tight with Dustin, because Dustin has the ability, as we say, to move away. He's already got a 2-shot lead on Rory, and he can move ahead even further. So he needs to stay tight. Those first 9 holes tomorrow, which Rory hasn't played particularly well this week, are really important. And then if he gets within 1 or 2 going into the back 9, anything can happen.
He needs to take Davis Love's advice and get up there and knock it right down the middle and say, all right, I'm here to dominate you. He needs to make a statement very early on that I'm here, that my game is sharp and ready to go. I'm hitting shots, I'm making putts, and you're going to have to shoot something pretty deep in the 60s to keep up with me.
If you're Kevin Chappell, you've had these close calls, extremely close. He's lost tournaments by just a shot. What's the approach tomorrow when you're trying to take down Dustin Johnson?
He knows he's good enough to win. It's amazing that his first win could come with possibly the Tour Championship, the FedEx Cup, and get him at the same time into the Ryder Cup. You talk about ringing the bell. My goodness, how hard is it going to be to keep all that out of your head? But he has finished second in some big events this year. The Players' Championship, the WGC, the RSM. He's got the game to win big events on the PGA Tour. It's really fun to watch him play golf, and it's a nice sort of David and Goliath feel as you watch these two go back and forth.
There is, and let's not forget Ryan Moore too. You know, probably the hottest player outside of the Ryder Cup team at the moment. If you want to look over the last 5 or 6 weeks, as I say, he's had a win, he's had 2 top 10s, he's obviously going to have a top 10 in all likelihood tomorrow, possibly even better than that, and right up to a win. So if you're looking for the hottest player in the PGA Tour right now who's not in the Ryder Cup team, probably Ryan Moore would tick that box.
That's right. Didn't even get to go to Hazeltine.
Well, I think he was invited, though, wasn't he?
We still have a lot to get to tonight on Golf Central. Hear from U.S. Ryder Cup captain Davis Love III. His comments calling his team maybe the best ever assembled, and you'll definitely want to hear what Rory McIlroy and Lee Westwood had to say in response for Team Europe. Things are heating up. We're still a week away from the Ryder Cup.
Golf Central is brought to you by Titleist, the #1 ball at the Tour Championship. Titleist, the #1 ball in golf. Avis, save up to 25% at avis.com/golf now.